Hello everybody and welcome back. I wanted to give you a short update on the bad6502. Well, that's still it. Nothing's changed actually, apart from me doing a lot of work on the software. And this thing is really kicking my behind. It is not coming along the way I expected it would. And it's actually quite frustrating because stuff that is supposed to work just doesn't work, and yeah, don't get me started. So this is still the same board as it was before. You can either have a normal Raspberry Pi 3 in the back of here, or a Raspberry Pi 4, or you can have a Raspberry Pi 02 on the front of here. And like I said, I've been doing a lot of work trying to get virtual hardware to work, trying to tie in USB keyboard, video, mouse, file I/O to the SD card, stuff like that. And it's just taking forever. But there's one thing that I'd like to show. And I'll just grab a power supply and the video cable, because while I was extremely frustrated that it didn't work, well, or mostly didn't work, because I was trying to get the Commander X16 ROM to work, together with more of the Commander X16 hardware now. And I thought I was doing all right, but well, when you think everything works, then you find out that it doesn't. And right now nothing's working. That's a little bit unsettling. Why is nothing working? Why is this making funny noises here? So, well, seems like I didn't pay respect to the demo gods. Let's use more power. More is always better. Yeah. So, when I turn this on and it comes up, we can take a peek at the screen. And you can see that you can't see anything because focus isn't working. Let's try again. So what you can probably see is the Commander X16 boot screen, and what I'm seeing is this L. I don't know what this L means. I have no idea. I think it's some sort of error message. But usually it gets stuck there, and when I cause an NMI, I can actually see that same blinking L, but I don't know if you can see it. There's a blinking cursor there, and that blinking cursor wasn't there for quite some time, and it means that at least some of the VIA simulation is running and working. So right now I only have two things that work. Either I press the reset key and I get the welcome screen, so that means that the Vera simulation, or in my case it's the no Vera simulation, is working somewhat, and it gets stuck. I think it's trying to access the SD card or the SD card controller that is on the Vera, because I'm not fully emulating that right now. But it just gets stuck here, and when I reset it again, it drops me into the monitor, which probably means that something's still messed up. But if I reset it yet once again, it goes back to the hello prompt, which is really, really strange. My previous version, which was running on Linux, didn't do that. So I have no idea right now what's going on. And this is going to take a lot of debugging, I fear. Apart from that, this is still all emulated, so I have all my debug messages down here. If I had a keyboard and mouse connected, it would see the keyboard and mouse. If I had a gamepad connected, it would see the gamepad. If I had a USB stick connected, it would also show up here. So a lot of the hardware simulation for USB keyboard and mouse, as well as the HDMI out, they're working. But something seems to be really, really wrong in the simulation of the hardware that the Commander X16 needs. On another note, I started making another board for an X16 clone, but I shelved that right now because I looked into getting most of the parts that I need, apart from what I need for the board that I have, and it's in Germany. It's basically unobtainium. It's even worse than trying to get a Raspberry Pi 02. So hardware right now is just. It went from bad to worse, and now it's somewhere in that vicinity. Apparently, it's supposed to get better, but if I can't find any hardware, then I'm probably just gonna abandon the whole thing and take it slow. But apart from that, I think this is the best thing that I can show right now. I can show that I have a working simulation for the basic ROM of the Commander X16. I have most of the hardware that is in the Commander X16 simulated on here. And so, as you can see, this is the real thing. So if I press reset, I break it. If I press reset again, it comes back. If I turn it off, it's turned off. And it boots in, well, it doesn't really boot. It starts in about a second and a half to 2 seconds. It takes longer for the screen to sync than it takes for the board to crash. I'm quite happy with that. So that was where I wanted to go with the bare metal programming on the Raspberry Pi. But that has just caused so many other problems that I didn't know from using Linux. And the whole development right now is basically always yanking the SD card out, programming it anew, and putting it back in, and then you have your next release. And what's wrong with this plug? Yeah, this HDMI plug is broken, I think, or it's the adapter. It's yeah, everything's broken right now. So that's where I am right now, and I don't know how fast this is going to go, or how long it's going to take me to figure out the problems with the simulation, and to get around some of the shortcomings of the Raspberry Pi. The worst thing that I found right now is that it's really, really hard to synchronize the cores when you're accessing hardware on a similar bus on the Raspberry Pi. So the Raspberry Pi has a Broadcom processor, and that has an internal bus, and the internal bus is the same for the frame buffer and the GPIO. And only accesses to the frame buffer are strongly ordered and not to the GPIO. So if you're making access to both of them at the same time from different cores, it just messes everything up. And this is one of the things that I didn't know from using Linux. So Linux is set up way differently than Circle is, which makes perfect sense. But there's just nothing that I can do to get around it right now. Yeah, so this is basically the status that I wanted to give you. I wanted to show that stuff is working, other stuff is not working, but I'm slowly making progress. If you are a Raspberry Pi programmer with assembler or C knowledge, or you have C knowledge and you have a Commander X16, and if you would like to help out a little bit, I would be really happy if somebody wants to put in some time on this, because it is just so extremely complicated and such a lot of work to do right now just to get all the hardware implemented and to get everything working. And for a start, I would be happy if I have a blinking command prompt and I would be able to use BASIC without sound on the simulated Commander X16. But right now, it seems that I'm still really far away from that. Yeah, that's it. That was a short rant, or medium length rant. But apart from that, thank you for stopping by, and have a good time. Bye-bye.